everyone, it's John from What Up. Welcome back to another video. Now in this video we're going to talk about a couple of different things. The first thing being the shutdown in Amazon Prime's Wheel of Time production. So we're going to talk about what's being reported by other people, and then I'll let you know what I know from my sources that are close to the production, and we'll see if we can find out what is actually going on. And then after that, we're going to talk about some set pictures. Now, Talk Ranrioid, a podcast, released a couple of set pictures on Twitter a few weeks ago now, and I happen to have those pictures, and I have some night shots of the same scene. Now, it doesn't really show anything different other than a different time of day, but it is pretty cool to see. So we're going to talk about them near the end of the video. Now, after all that's said and done, we do have a contest that's being run by Black Hair Press. Now, this is for a couple of signed copies of David Green's new book. Now, we'll talk about that at the very end of the video, so stay tuned right to the very end if you want to figure out how to get entered into that contest. All right, before we get into anything else though, spoiler warning. In this video, I'm going to talk about the halt in Amazon Prime's production, which really doesn't spoil anything in the book series for you. However, I'm also going to talk about those set pictures, and they all revolve around Block 4 filming. So that being the case, if you haven't read up to the end of The Eye of the World, the first book in the Wheel of Time series, be forewarned, I may ruin some scenes and some plot points from that book for you. All right, let's get on to the video. All right, we're going to start with the Instagram post heard round the world. Well, it's a picture, so you can't really hear it. It doesn't matter. Anyway, Kieran Donnelly, the director of episodes 7 and 8 of Amazon Prime's Wheel of Time production that's currently filming in the Czech Republic, posted this a couple of weeks ago. Now, he posted this, the fans and everyone in the community were understandably confused. Is he going home for the weekend? Is he coming back? What's going on? And there's a whole lot of speculation and talk on this. Now, he had a backpack and a guitar in a relatively empty airport when he took the pictures, so were they carry-ons? Is he going home for the weekend or whatnot? That didn't seem likely because in today's day and age, traveling just for a weekend or a few days here and there by plane is generally not advised. Even driving to another country by car is not advised considering the climate of the pandemic. So we all had a lot of questions. Now, WheelOfTimeSeries.com did a lot of digging. And when they did this digging, they came back with a couple of sources that told them production was halted until April. Now, due to the rising COVID cases in Czech Republic, that's what we all kind of assumed was happening. Now, we didn't have any official confirmation from Amazon whatsoever. Now, some other people have reported that principal photography is completely done and they're going to pick up on some reshoots next year. We don't have to worry about it. Maybe they'll do pickup shots in April and fold some things into season 2. I've heard that from a number of other sources, but those people that are saying this don't really have any proof to that effect. Now, WheelTimeSeries.com did have multiple actual sources on the fact that production is shut down in April. So I contacted a couple of my sources, and what I got from them was this: the fact that production is currently shut down and that they still had 6 weeks left to film. Now, 6 weeks left to film in a finale, a 2-part finale, is a very long time. Now, I do know for a fact that multiple filming locations were booked for the following weeks after Kieran Donnelly left, and they never showed up afterwards, so they didn't come in. The trailers were all left. They vacated these places. So my sources were telling me that what WheelOfTimeSeries.com reported was completely correct. Production is halted until April, and they weren't quite finished principal photography. They still had a lot of shots to do, because for a finale, you're going to go all out. You're going to film everything you can. Now, there was a lot of things up in the air with that. Other people were reporting different things, and then WheelOfTimeSeries.com came out with this as well. So the extra agency said that there's a halt in production until April, and that's when they're going to pick back up. Now, full disclosure, we really don't know why they halted. The only speculation that people have is the fact that the Czech Republic has an increasingly terrible caseload of COVID-19. And then they issued a lockdown last week. Now, the lockdown did not apply to the Wheel of Time production because all the other filming crews in the area were given exemptions. So they could keep filming, they could keep doing what they wanted as far as we knew. And I know for a fact right now there are still productions filming in the Czech Republic right now for other companies. So why did Wheel of Time shut down? Well, it's still up in the air. We really don't know. And what is really very confusing is Amazon Prime has not issued a statement on this at all. They have not talked to the fans. They've not released a statement saying they're done filming completely for the season and they have everything done, or they're pausing due to the pandemic and they're going to pick back up in April. No one really knows officially because Amazon Prime has not talked about it yet. So we're all eagerly awaiting some kind of announcement from them. Now, we thought it would happen last Wednesday because Wheel of Time Wednesdays were a thing in the past, and they tend to drop big news on Wednesdays. And I had heard from one of my sources that we should expect something on Wednesday. It never happened. So I really don't know officially what's going on, and a lot of other people don't. All we know is that production is halted and that the cast and the crew are home, and a lot of them are posting that they're home. So Madeline Madden put this on Instagram. She's back home. Daniel Henney also put that he's back home. A lot of the other cast did as well. So we know that the cast and crew are back home. Most of them are safe that we know of, that regularly post on Instagram and Twitter and whatnot. So we know that for a fact, but we still don't know the why production was shut down. I can tell you that it was production's call to shut it down. They were not forced to. That's the only other piece of information that I have. So I hope everyone is safe. I hope everyone is healthy. I hope everything went well. I, for one, am not upset they shut down production because, let's face it, it's a television show. These people's lives and their livelihoods are far, far, far more important than just filming a show. I know that a lot of the fans, including myself, are waiting with bated breath for basically any little scrap of news Amazon will give us, and we really want to see this show, and we're really excited to have it made. However, not putting anyone in danger is the best thing that anyone can do in this day and age. So I'm really, really happy that due to the rising caseload there, that everyone has gone home. That way it reduces the risk and mitigates anything that could happen to any of the cast or crew. So I hope everyone is safe there. That's all I'll say about that. So the next thing we're going to talk about are these set pictures. Now, just like my last video where we talked about the Faldera set pictures, I'm going to blow them up right big. My ugly mug's going to go away, and we'll talk about them just a little bit. All right. So if you don't want to see the set pictures and you don't want anything spoiled, maybe click to the end of the video now to get a load of that contest. Other than that, here we go. All right, so here are the set pictures I promised you. Now, this first one is what was released by Takaran Ryoid. Made the rounds on Twitter and Facebook and Reddit. It's pretty much everywhere. It's on Instagram too. You can find it most anywhere on the net now. And it is a very, very neat looking place to shoot. I mean, you can see off on the left-hand side, you can see what appears to be a staircase and a couple of different columns. You can see the really gnarly, gross-looking roots in the front there that are super cool. And then you see all the production equipment in the front of that. Now, this has 100% the look of The Blight. It has 100% the look of something that's just like gone to waste. It looks so cool. Now, I promised you a new shot of this is basically the same thing, only at night. Now, here it is here. Now, you can see some of the production stuff is raised up with the cranes. The lights are above it. You can see the roots a little bit better. You can see the columns and the staircase off to the left, and you can see what appears to be 5 little heads. So that gives a little more scale to exactly how massive this is. It just is absolutely phenomenal. Now, if you'll notice, those little things that were on the ground on the first picture, right there, they are raised up now. They're the lights, and we've seen them in the Faldera set pictures. So it's something that's completely normal for shooting at night. Now, I do know that when they shot these a few weeks ago, they did shoot them at night. So it was really, really very neat to see. Very, very cool. Now, you notice that there's some blue screens in the background and in the foreground and off to the side. That's so they can augment this scene with CGI or whatever else they need to. Now, if I had to guess, I would say that this is probably something someplace in The Blight. It probably has something to do with entering the Green Man's domain, or it is in The Eye of the World. I don't know 100% for sure. I have zero information on what this shot is about. This is just me spitballing and guessing, but it does look very, very neat, and I find it really cool that production is finding all of these really natural, awesome-looking spots to film in and augmenting it by building a few things here and there, and it just makes everything look so much more real and vivid and amazing. So this is what I have for you today. That's pretty much all the news for the video. I mean, I got really excited about this. It was really, really cool for me to see, and I want to thank Takaran Ryoid for allowing me to post this as well, and I want to thank WatchSeries.com for allowing me to post this and post everything else I've been doing and all the information that they're digging up, because they are pretty much right now our premier source of news for the real-time production, especially since Amazon is not really giving us a whole lot of official news. So if you haven't already gone to their website and bookmarked it, I've left a link down in the description box to WatchSeries.com. I've also left a link down to Takaran Ryoid on their podcast down in the description box down below. So if you haven't followed their podcast, please do that. They talk a lot about news and other things. I've been on the podcast before, and they're a neat bunch of folks. They're really, really cool. So with that being said, let's get on and we'll talk about that contest I mentioned earlier. All right, so that contest I talked to you about. Now, in the description box down below, there is a link to this contest. It's for a couple of copies of Dead Man Walking. Now, you can go there, follow the links, and enter that way. Now, this contest only runs until November 13th. So if you're watching this video after November 13th, 2020, so sorry, you You can't enter the contest, although you can go buy the ebook version, which I believe is 99 cents right now. So you could do that. It's coming out in actual print form as well, probably early next year. More on that later when I actually know the dates. But it is a really, really very good book, and David is a friend of mine. Now, he also runs a Wheel of Time based podcast called Easing the Reader. Link to that is also in the description box down below, and I was fortunate enough to be on that podcast a couple of weeks ago, and I had an excellent time. It's run by a couple of actual published authors who talk about the book, and they talk about how writing goes and stuff with it. It was really interesting to talk with people who do this for a living, talk about a book with people who write for a living. It was really, really cool. Now, all that aside, I do want to mention one other thing. I'm actually going to be published by Black Hair Press myself shortly. It's in one of their Drabble anthologies called 666 Dark Drabbles. It comes out later this year in ebook format, hardcover and softcover to follow next year. It's the first time I'm published, so I'm pretty excited with that. It's kind of neat. So more to follow about that when it gets a little bit closer. So I want to thank you all so much for sticking with me here to the very end of the video. And here's to many more.